We all see people in wheelchairs, or men and women using canes, at some point while we're out in public. We always wonder why that person's in a wheelchair, or what happened to that man that makes them use a cane. We wonder, but we don't ask why. Maybe we don't ask why because it's socially unacceptable. We might be afraid that we may make that person feel awkward. So to ease the wondering mind, I will provide you with one possible explanation that a person is in a wheelchair or using a walker: a spinal cord injury. A spinal cord injury, abbreviated SCI, is damage to the spinal cord, resulting in impaired or loss of function in the body. In this presentation, I will provide you with information about spinal cord injuries and why they cause impaired and loss of function. Almost anything can cause a spinal cord injury. If the time is right, the force is strong enough, and it hits the spinal cord at just the right angle. Causes of SCIs range from anything from traumatic injuries, complications in some surgeries, or even surfing. Traumatic injuries have a wide range. It consists of recreational activities to something like car wrecks. The common thing about traumatic spinal cord injuries is the word accident. Complications in surgeries range from slips of surgeons' hands to drain filters malfunctioning and fluid collecting on the spinal cord. Even surfing can cause an SCI. The injury, called surfer's myelopathy, is the prolonged spinal hyperextension while trying to prone on a surfboard. In all of these, the vertebrae fails to protect the spinal cord, and pressure, pinching, or laceration reaches the spinal cord, resulting in an injury. This results in loss of feeling or movement. After the initial spinal cord injury, swelling and pressure still occurs, which can also lead to more spinal cord injury. This results in more paralysis and more loss of function. Depending upon the injured either has a complete or incomplete break. And a complete SCI means the person is completely paralyzed below the level of injury. This person also loses complete feeling. An incomplete break means that only part of the spinal cord is injured. This person can lose function, but not feeling, or vice versa. While these two seem plain in black and white, remember that no two spinal cord injuries are the same. The sensation-movement combination can be different in every spinal cord injury. The amount of sensation and movement, or lack of, is determined by the level of injury, or where the spinal cord is injured. The spine has 4 sections. The first 7 vertebrae in the neck are the cervical region. The next 12 vertebrae in the upper and mid-back is the thoracic region. The following 5 vertebrae in the lower back is the lumbar region. And finally, the last 5 vertebrae in the tailbone is the sacral region. Each single vertebrae controls specific function in your body. For example, C7, cervical vertebrae number 7, controls the middle and ring finger, sensation and movement. However, there are 4 sections to generalize movement and dictate if the injury results in quadriplegia or paraplegia. The cervical region controls the hands and arms. The thoracic, lumbar, and sacral regions control the lower body and limbs, movement and sensation. If the injury is in the cervical region, it is classified as quadriplegia. If the injury is thoracic or lower, it is paraplegia. Either can be incomplete or complete. The farther down the spine the injury is obtained, the more function and sensation is kept. If it is a spinal cord injury, can it heal just like any other injury? The answer is yes, a very long yes. The spinal cord will eventually heal itself, but over a very, very slow period of time. It could potentially take a lifetime for the spinal cord to heal itself. It also depends on the severity of the injury. Obviously, a complete injury will take longer than an incomplete injury to heal. If the recovery process is so slow, the next obvious question is there a cure? Technically, the answer is no. But with advances of technology and science, the cure is getting closer. However, controversy is abundant when finding a cure because it involves stem cell research, more importantly, olfactory and sheathing cells, and embryonic stem cells. While that war is never ending, With science and
It's
politics,
11 o'clock.
SCIs can continue with good old-fashioned therapy and rehabilitation. Physical therapy involves different types of methods using neurological re-education. This is used with the aid of electrolysis and often other methods. While these three battles are being fought, SCIs continue to live their life in a new and different way. Now that you know what an SCI is, and that it is damage to the spinal cord resulting in impaired or loss of function, you no longer have to wonder what causes a person not to be able to function. All that is left to wonder is the story. Surprisingly, many SCIs are open about their story and do not mind telling it. So I encourage you to ask next time. In fact, after this presentation, I will answer any question that you have about spinal cord injuries and my story. However, remember that not every person you see in a wheelchair is a spinal cord injury. Thank you.